All right, I'm gonna get right into it. The title of this video: What is route density? All right. In short, route density is what you have right here. What I'm cutting right now on this street right here. This yard I'm cutting right here, and also the yard right next door to it. You can see the grass over there to the right. I have to cut that one too today. This is pretty much what route density is. You want those yards as close as possible to where you working. Um, I'll try to explain it a little bit. Okay, so when you first start out, you got yards all over the place. You know, you basically saying yes to everything because you just hungry. But over time, let's just say if you really going hard full time, maybe maybe 2 years in, you gonna start noticing that you don't get a lot of calls in certain areas, and certain areas might just be too far. You're just driving too far. It's too much windshield time. So, and and maybe it's a part of town that might be close to you, but the yards is just way bigger than uh, are set up to do. So this is what I mean by route density. Not just necessarily how far the yards are, but just how convenient are they in your route. Because what you're trying to do is you trying to build a route. Um, so, for instance, this yard right here, I'm cutting both of them today. Now, this is like the ideal. This is ideal of what you want. You want to try to get those word of mouth customers as fast as possible, because the thing about word of mouth is people flag you. The neighbors start flagging you down. So you never want to you always want to do the best job on that yard as you can, because it's like a business card. I can't tell you how many people, how many customers I got just by flag downs alone. Just doing a great job on the neighbor's yard, and one day they stick their head out the window and say, "Hey, can you cut mine next?" I can't tell you how many customers I got like that. Just consistently, just doing a good job. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what I'm talking about. Cause I seen a lot of y'all work, and I'm impressed by y'all work. So I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's basically how you get route density. What you have to do is you have to start saying no to the people that's not in your ideal route. You have to One day you just have to sit down and just look at your map. Like really sit down like a you know like you a general at war. You're not gonna go to war without your map, and you're not gonna just go to war not prepared. You got all your tools, you got all your equipment, and now you don't know where you're gonna be. So the first thing you have to do is, if you want good route density, is look at your map. Study your map of where you want to be, draw those borders, and you don't cut anything outside of that from this point on. And it's gonna be hard because you're gonna have to tell a lot of people no. Like, I'm sorry, I don't go that far. I do it. I have to do it all the time. Nowhere near as much no more, because I target my marketing a lot more. But you just have to be willing to tell people no. that's too far. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna start saying yes to these yards right here. And then these neighbors are gonna start coming out and asking you to cut the yard. And before you know it, you cutting both the neighbors. You cutting the neighbor's yard and you cutting the person across the street yard. Because you're getting all these flag downs because you keep advertising the same neighborhoods over and over and over again. And that's the key. Advertise those neighborhoods and those specific size yards in that boundary that you made on that map, and only advertise those yards, and that's it. Don't go outside that boundary, and if they outside of that boundary, tell them no. Tell them sorry, but you can't do it. You don't go that far. I'm sorry, I don't go that far. I used to refer people, but it's like a coin toss. So if you're referring somebody good or not, so I've had too many complaints with that. So now I just have to tell people I just don't do it. I don't go that far. I'm sorry. So, yeah, you have to start telling people that's too far. No, I mean let's just get down to it. I mean that's what it's gonna come down to have good route density. You got to know how to tell people no. It's just gonna be that simple. And in the beginning, it's gonna be hard to do because you wanna say yes to everybody. You wanna cut as much grass as possible, and that's a good thing. And it actually is when you first starting out. But once you find that sweet spot, you find that route where 85% of your income is coming within these certain streets and not outside of that. Anything outside of that is now windshield time and not really what you should be getting per hour because you're not counting the windshield time. That's why you think that those far yards are the same but they're really not. If you counted the windshield time, you would be inside of your route probably making $100 an hour, and then that windshield time taking you across town is now taking you down to maybe $30 an hour. And that's pretty much. So I hate to sound like a broken record, but that's the key to route density is telling people no. Until you able to do that, until you just have faith in your business that you're gonna be able to replicate the same type of customers that you have now, that's nice and close and the perfect size yards where you able to make the most profit with your specific setup. Your setup is not the same as everybody else. It's certain size yards you probably should be saying no to because you're just not as profitable. So that part of town is just going to be up to you where you're going to be the most profitable at. That's just going to be up to you. Me personally, I choose the smallest yards I can find. My X mark is in the shop right now, and I've been cutting with this Honda 200 for probably at least 1.5 months out of this season. I've been cutting with that on a daily basis. So I'm easily can, if my X mark go down, I'm right back to a push mowing operation easily. So I just don't like to bite off more than I could chew, and that's just up to me. Everybody set up different. Everybody don't cut yards this size, and that's understandable. So what part of town is just up to you. And that windshield time is all just depends on how much you charging, because you might be cutting yards that is over $100 to cut them. So that's all going to depend on you and what boundaries you make on that map. My map that I make, when I look at my map, it actually comes down to streets. Like, if you live on this side of the street, if you cross the street and you on the main road where I don't go no more, if you on the other side of that street, I'll tell you no. Like, my map and my boundaries is that serious. I want everything to be within a certain mile radius of where I live. It's just that simple. And you have to be a certain size yard. I won't just take any yard and just not be profitable on it either, because I know what my setup is like. I know my setup can go down to a Honda Pushmore at any given time, and I don't mind that. So you have to figure those boundaries out for yourself. It's easy to have good route density. It's very simple. Step number 1, drop all the customers that's outside of those boundaries where you want to be. Okay, let's say you got 100 customers and you want route density, and you looked at your map and you say, you know what, these 4 main streets, it's like my route looked like a box on this map. These 4 main streets, if anybody called me outside of there, or these 4 main parts of town, and you can actually look at the streets you want to cut off. Anything past this street, I don't do. To the north, west, east, and south. And you make the boundaries yourself, because your town and your setup is unique to you. So nobody will be able to tell you that. You would have to look at that map yourself and carve out those boundaries yourself, and carve out your territory yourself. And then you would have to reign king in your own territory and advertise to those people over and over every year, or however much you advertise. And if you really concerned about route density, you shouldn't even be advertising anywhere. If you're really concerned about it, your advertiser should be focused on those addresses where you want to be. Having your truck wrapped up with your phone number and all on Craigslist, with people calling from all over the place 45 minutes away, that's not going to be your best marketing strategy, because you're going to have to answer the phone and tell 90% of the people no, that you can't do it because they outside of your route. So your advertising is going to have to change if you want to have better route density. You're going to have to really focus on, like, for instance, this street right here. I got 2 yards on this street. Actually, I take that back. I actually probably got about 10 yards on this street altogether. This is the only house. These 2 are the only yards where I cut them side by side on this street. But I actually got another yard right across the street from there. Exactly across the street. Just by flag downs. The yard in front of you right now, I got them because the lady next door referred me to them. So one of them I got with my flyer, and the other 2 were just flag downs, basically. That's how you do it. You advertise in the same. I advertise this street every year. Every year, every address on this street will get a flyer. Every year. And the street next to it. And the street next to it. And the street next to it. Until I reach the end of my border. If you want to look at it like it's your territory, and you go on to war, and you sitting down and you looking at your map, well, that's how I look at it. You can look at it how you want to look at it. But you just can't go out there just blindly going anywhere where somebody want to go. And that's how I know when somebody new to the business. When I ask them, cause I refer, because I turn down so much work every year that I have to. Sometimes I get a lot of numbers just to pass their number, because I tell so many people no. And when I ask them, I say, "Where you work at?" And when they say, "Man, I go anywhere. I go way over here. I go way over here," and I'm like, thinking to myself, like, if that worked for you, that worked for you. But so I don't mind referring all of this work to you for people way over there. And that's why I get a few numbers every year, but to basically just to pass them the business, just so I don't leave people hanging. Because I tell a lot of people no. I'm really passionate about building my route. I'm not concerned with having a lot of yards. I want a lot of yards in the right places. Literally, if I have 100 yards scattered all over town, that don't mean nothing. If I got 100 yards less, and all of them is less than 5 minutes away from my house, now we talking about something. Now we talking about leaving out of your door and be able to make $100 an hour or more, or however much you charge. See, that's route density. That's the purpose of it. The purpose of it is not to, just be able to park your car and get out and cut yards. Yeah, that's the gist of it. But route density is about not having to waste time driving, not having to waste time behind that windshield. I mean, you got better things to do in your life than to be wasting time behind the windshield. Driving far to the next yard. You want to get your money quick and go back to your family where you supposed to be. It's a freedom in it where you can make your money a lot faster. And that's and not to mention that it's much more profitable. Much more profitable. That's just a given. So that's my take on it. I'm using the FS 111 right there. I was cutting with the Honda GCV 200. It's the new Honda. That thing is as you can see, when I was mowing next to the neighbor, you could see that this Honda was twice as fast as his. So that thing right there, if you have a push mowing operation, that is the push mower to have. You can mulch. You can mulch everything down. You don't need a bag at all with that thing. It's just a great mower and really fast. As you can see, I mowed both of these yards pretty fast with that mower. And as far as I know, they 4 miles per hour. So if you got a push mowing operation, get you one of those immediately. The other ones are just too slow. All right, if this video was helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. All right, peace.